Hey there, let's talk about accidents. Unless you have a very, very profitable crystal ball, accidents happen. Car accidents happen, boating accidents happen. We could be walking in our house and trip and fall and have an accident. We might have a snake bite as an accident. So there's all kinds of accidents out there. There's, of course, things that we're doing that are fun and we have accidents, again, because stuff happens. In fact, the statistics say that about 80% of the claims that happen, I think it's maybe 82%, are due to accidents. So we know that there's a higher probability of you getting in an accident, whether it be car related, motorcycle related, boating related, activity related, than to file a claim for health, depending upon your health. But you're more probable to have an accident. So accidents can happen. So what I want to talk to you about is, what do you do when you have an accident and how do you handle it? Or how can you handle it before you have an accident? So first of all, when you have a car accident, the person who is at fault would be the primary insurance. The person who is not at fault, that was probably the injured party, would have secondary insurance on their car. And then you might also have health insurance and accident insurance, and that would be your tertiary or your, I don't know what the fourth is called, but anyway, you would have plenty of coverage. Now let's just say it's a random accident in your house, you trip and you fall. Well, depending upon the plan that you have, you're probably going to be subject to deductibles and copays, maybe an emergency room visit or an ambulance ride. So those can get very costly. Some ways that you can help mitigate those costs are through having accident insurance. You could always also have gap insurance, which help pays for the deductibles and copays out of pocket. Sometimes you might even have like an AFLAC type policy. Those are actual cost reimbursement type plans. Or you might have maybe a disability policy. So sometimes accidents could lead into disability. If you were to fall out of a tree and become unable to do your job, you might need to file disability coverage. That's going to give you that accident coverage, but due to disability, it's going to replace your income. So there are all kinds of different ways and things that happen to us that we're not planning for that we need to prepare for. Because the thing that you want to make sure is when something does happen, that you have the right coverage. So again, I'm just going to recap for you. So when an accident happens and you have to go to the emergency room, or you go by ambulance, or maybe you don't go to the emergency room, maybe you just go to an ER or urgent care facility. So when that happens, again, depending upon your plan, you are going to be paying the cost of that emergency room visit, either through deductibles, copays, or maybe your cash pay for an emergency room. So when that happens and it's due to an accident, having accident coverage, having disability coverage, having gap coverage, any of those things can help with the cost of that accident happening. So all kinds of things happen to us. I can tell you some funny stories. They're not funny, but they are funny. I've had a good friend of mine and client who got stuck in the eye up in the attic. He's a heating and air conditioning guy, and he got stuck in the eye with a metal rod. So he almost lost his sight. So that's an accident. He didn't intend for that to happen. He didn't plan for that. I'm certain he didn't get up that day and say, hey, I think I'm going to be irresponsible and not wear glasses when I'm doing work and have something poking in my eye. So he was really, really lucky. There's been other things where people have cut their hand and they've cut a tendon in their hand. People have been walking and tripped and fallen and broken feet, broken ankles, all kinds of different things. So stuff happens to people, good people, bad people, it all happens. So just make sure you're prepared for it. And it can be very, very affordable. So again, let me recap. You can have accident insurance. You can have gap insurance. You could have disability insurance. You could have an AFLAC type accident policy. You might just have cash in your account at home, that's set aside for that kind of stuff. So there's all kinds of ways to protect you for accident. If you want to know more about what your options are, whether you're self-employed or you work for somebody else or you're just accident prone, let's talk about what the options are. I'm excited to talk to you. I'm KJ at Your Forever Agency, taking the hell out of health insurance and accidents.